Well, Alex, it's probably been since 1996 that anybody's talked about a U.S. Open this long and not mentioned the name Tiger Woods. I mean, gosh, the last time he was there, he won by 15. He lapped the field. I know, obviously, his game's a little bit different from at that time, but, how do you feel about Tiger this week?
Well, I got to be honest with you. He hasn't shown me anything that indicates to me that he's going to be a contender this week. You can go back to his previous form. You can go back to these Tiger Woods. That all sounds good, but at the end of the day, he hasn't shown anything to indicate that he is going to be a guy that would be a contender this week. So I guess how I feel is he's a field pick as far as I'm concerned. He's not anything more than that.
Well, let's talk about, every year, like last year, Lucas Glover. Every year you seem to see someone come out of the pack that you didn't expect. Who would be that person this year for you besides Zach Johnson having an outside shot?
Well, I like Jason Gore because he knows this golf course so well. He's won a California Amateur here and a California Open here, I believe. So I really like Jason Gore.
Do they serve Claps Blue Ribbon in the clubhouse for him?
They will. PBR, for sure. And then, another guy I like that's maybe closer to where Lucas Glover was back when Lucas Glover won. I mean, Lucas was 29 and he was 71st in the world when he won. There's a guy, Brian Davis from England. He's 35. He's a little older, but he's 73rd in the world. And he's played well in spurts this year. He was second at Colonial. He has the ability to play well and play strong. I really like what Brian Davis can do. And I think this golf course could do wonders for him. So if I was going to make a pick, it'd be Brian Davis.
And, you got a bunch of other guys out there. There's some good pairings that I kind of like is Mike Weir, Tim Clark, and KJ. And then Ogilvy and Adam Scott in a group. And what about Poulter or somebody like him?
Yeah, Poulter is just all of a sudden is not playing very well. I'm not sure why that is, but he wouldn't. As much as I like his game, he wouldn't be my pick. Jeff Ogilvy, I'm not sure what to say about him either. I mean, he just seems to lose interest at times. Just look at his scores at Memorial 2 weeks ago, where they were up like they were like a yo-yo. Though Adam Scott, I was talking to Tony Navarro. I was on the sixth green, 7th tee this morning, and Tony came through with Adam and a couple other guys, and Tony just came to me, just looked at me, and just said, who would you pick? And we went back and forth, and I said, how's Adam playing? He said, he's just playing great. So, after that win down in Texas, you can't discount Adam Scott at this point. So he's certainly a guy that you'd have to take a look at.
Well, another guy that, and I know the golf course, like you said earlier, plays so much different at this time of the year than it does during the AT&T. But Dustin Johnson, having won the tournament 2 times in a row, he certainly feels comfortable on that golf course.
Yeah, and what's interesting is Butch Harmon has been with him since Sunday. I came out here Sunday, and Butch was out here working with him, and I was just leaving the range maybe 15 minutes ago, which is the reason why I missed your first phone call for us to do this. And Butch was out there again with Dustin. So, I mean, they put a lot of time in, and Dustin knows this golf course. But, I just think it's such a big difference between what it was in February and what it is now.
We're talking to Alex Micelli here on the Tee on the Iowa Sports Connection Radio Network. You know him from the Approach with Callaway Golf on the Golf Channel. And, you've covered over probably 125 golf tournaments, 20-plus majors, Ryder Cups. You've been all over the world covering golf. Is this one of your favorite tracks?
No.
An emphatic no.
No.
I'm not sure. And no, why?
I'm not, I mean, as I look at Pebble Beach, it's got about half good holes and half just average holes. And, I mean, if you're looking at a major championship venue, you want all the holes to be good, and that just doesn't meet my criteria.
What is your course? And I think you may have told us already. Still, is it Augusta?
No. I love Wingfoot. I love Oakmont. I love Marion. I mean, you know what? You tell me a bad hole at Wingfoot, or you tell me a bad hole at Marion. I mean, they don't exist. I mean, there's 18 good holes there. I think that. I think the best hole here is 8, but right after that is 7.
The weather conditions remain as they are today on Sunday as the winner's hoisting the 110th trophy over his head. What's the score?
I think it's a couple under. I think it's going to be under par. If you look back when Nicklaus won here, it was over par, and progressively it was getting better and better. And so I think it's going to be under par. You can't discount how good these guys are. You just can't do that. And when you really see these guys play, you realize just, how good they are. I mean, you see guys that are 20 years old on the driving range today just striping it. And yes, it's a golf tournament and everything else, but those guys are going to be out here someday, and they're going to be playing these tournaments. And the guys that were 10 years ago playing at 20 years old, they're out here now, and they're just killing it. So I just think that, under par is going to be there, and it could be more than 2, but I think right now that's what I'm going to go with.
And one last question. We always see day one of the majors, somebody in let's say 45, in Tommy Watson's case, 60 years old. Who's going to be that guy this year on that early 2-day leaderboard that will probably fade down the stretch?
I think Watson's certainly got a chance, but I like Lehman too.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Lane's been playing well. Well, we know it was an effort for you to take time. We appreciate it. We know how busy you are with all your Golf Channel duties this week. As always, thank you very much for joining us on the tee, Alex.
You guys take care.
All right. Enjoy yourself out there. Alex Micelli, never one to mince his words.
No, he says it like it is.
And you know what? Tiger maybe should have taken his advice. Remember, he predicted back in February he didn't think Tiger would play all year.
Well, and he hasn't played well all year,
yeah,
so he was half right. And you know what? If you ever have played Pebble Beach, if you take the ocean out of the equation, it isn't the greatest course in the whole world. The only problem is you can't take the ocean out of the equation. It's there, and it is interesting because some of those great courses have also given us champions that aren't great.
Right.
Pebble Beach always gives you a great champion, or at least so far it has. Being Jack Nicklaus wins in '72, Tom Watson, Tom Kite. You could argue with that. It was his only major win, but I would have to say he's in the Hall of Fame. And then Tiger Woods laps the field the last time that the Open was at Pebble Beach. So I would agree. It isn't the greatest course in the whole world, but you have it'd be like saying,
but it's like a painting,
Yeah, it's like saying, the football stadium at Notre Dame isn't all that great, but it's touchdown Jesus and
that's
all
right.
the wins
Don't
are
be
there.
bad-mouthing it.
I'm not.
All right.
And that's Pebble's not the best golf course in that area either. I mean, you've got Spyglass. I think is a better golf course.
How about Cypress? Cypress
Well,
Point.
Cypress Point.
I've never played there. I'm not one of the blue bloods like you two guys.
No, I've
Hey,
played
listen.
Cypress
I just got to play Wakanda and Iowa, and I'm in heaven.
You're
So
dropping names like
that's right, baby. I'm a country club golfer now.
And I remember Cypress from the standpoint that you come around, you play 13 holes inside, and then all of a sudden you come to this 14th hole, which is kind of leading back out, and it's got this archway of spruce trees. I don't know how they did it.
You have to hit like through a tunnel?
Well, a little bit. I mean, it's high enough to where it's not going to affect some, but it's just the visual. Then you walk across the road and you start on 15. It looks like you're in a painted forest. And then you got 16 and 17 are on the water too. So
it's on the ocean as well?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got the ocean in play, Torrey Pines, wherever. I think it just adds a lot to the beauty and the allure of the setting.
But like you said, that's not the best golf course.
That's great. And you would fit in so well in Northern California with your views on life, the way you like to live.
Well,
I mean, that whole place
a little bit northern.
I tried it.
Humboldt County.
I went to
perfect. I mean, Pebble Beach. I mean, that whole 17-mile drive, the atmosphere, the way of life. That's got Rickard's name written all over it. You should be there. Why didn't you get press credentials?
Yeah, I fit right in with those blue bloods.
Third Janie Lewis with the credit cards down there and all those shops.
She couldn't get in the front door with my credit card. What do you mean spending with it? All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back on the tee as we cover the 110th U.S. Open from Pebble Beach here on the Iowa Sports Connection Radio Network.
The Iowa Lottery's new scratch game, Cash Bonanza, has more different ways to win. So there are more different kinds of winners, like the hyperventilator.